Morning everyone. So we've got a nice session today. We're going to be stretching down the back of the body, so trying to loosen off all those tight muscles. Hopefully you'll feel great after getting the joints lubricated, getting those muscles stretched. I know a few of you have mentioned that you're feeling a little bit tight, having a bit of muscle soreness, so hopefully this will help relieve some of that for you. So it's going to be all floor work really today, lots and lots of stretching. So we're going to start first of all in a child's pose position. You may want to get a cushion if you're feeling comfortable in some of the positions, because a cushion can help with some of the positions, and I'll let you know as we go along. So the first thing we're going to do is just come into a child's pose first of all. So we want to sit back onto the heels, and this can be a wide leg child's pose, so you can bring your knees to the outer edges of the mat, or you can sit back, and we're just going to extend the arms out as far as you can. Keep that chin tucked, spine nice and long, and walk the hands as far away from you as you can. So walking those hands away, pushing the armpits down to the floor and feeling that nice deep stretch down the back. Keep that chin tucked, push the chest through. And then we're going to come over to the right side of the mat, popping the left hand on top, and the same thing. Pushing down with those armpits, lengthening out down the side of the body. Then walk that hand, left hand to the left side of the mat, right hand comes on top, and lengthening out. Really push this armpit down towards the mat. So we're going to take an inhale in, and as we breathe out, that's where we want to feel the muscle stretch. Coming to all fours, we're just going to release off the wrists. So turn the hands if you can, so fingertips face the knees. If not, out to the side or as far around as you can. And we're just getting that nice stretch. We want to tuck the tummy in, and we just want to rock gently on those wrists. Then we're going to sit back down into that child's pose, and this time we're going to come into a prayer position. So in that child pose position, you're going to bring your hands behind your head into prayer, and we're just going to stretch off all down the triceps and push your chest through, so we're getting a nice deep stretch down the back. Couple of breaths here. Really push that bottom away. And coming back up. So we're going to pop the wrists underneath the shoulders, the knees under the hips. So knees are hip width apart, wrists are shoulder distance apart. And we're just going to think about drawing the belly button in and rounding off the lower spine. So you're wanting to tuck that chin under, keep the hips pressing forward and thinking about rounding the lower spine. And then we're going to drop, we're going to lift the head, we're going to lift the tailbone, we're going to open out those collarbones, looking forward, sending the spine in the opposite direction. And then tucking under, raising the spine up. Really separate those shoulder blades as well. So you're really pushing into the mat and separating those shoulder blades as you tuck your tummy in. And then breathing out, we're going to drop down, looking forward. To make this a little bit harder, you can come up, lift the knees, so keep the tops of the feet on the mat, lift the knees and come up into that cat position. Hovering the knees and down into cow, hovering the knees. making sure the focus is still on the spine. Then we're going to tuck the toes. We're going to lift up and take 2 steps back and then push the bottom high into down dog. So you want to lift your bum as high as you can. So they'll be up onto your tiptoes, there'll be a soft bend in the knees, you're pushing your chest through, turning those armpits down and lifting the bottom. And then we're going to pedal the feet. So lift that bottom up nice and high and push the chest through. We should feel a nice stretch down the back of the hamstrings. We want to focus on getting that nice flat back. And turning the chest, turning the armpits open, down towards the knees. And coming down onto all fours, and then we'll just push back into a child's pose, lengthening out. A couple of breaths here. Let's relax now completely. So we're not in an active child's pose. We're going to relax the arms, relax the forehead, relax the jaw, relax the brow. Couple of deep breaths. And then we're going to come back up into that down dog. Lifting the bum as high as you can. Up on your tiptoes, high as you can with that bottom, and then pedaling down. And then we're going to walk those toes forward. So we're walking the feet in to the upper body as close as you can. Now you may need to come up onto the tips of your fingers here, or you can use your prop to help you, some books, anything that you've got, into a forward fold. So if you need to, nice bend at the back of the legs and just relaxing down. So you're going to just let go of the arms, let go of the head and feel that stretch all the way down your back. Then we'll come into ragdoll, so we'll hold on to each elbow and we'll just relax side to side. Thinking about that vertebra lengthening, so thinking about the space between the vertebra, the gap getting bigger. So you want to relax everything to lengthen out. So we're just going to relax and lengthen. And then using your abdominal, you're going to draw your tummy in and restack as you come up. Restack that vertebra on top of each other. And then we're going to drop the chin to the chest, roll the shoulders forward. Heavy hands, you've got heavy shopping bags in your hands and they're pulling you down. Relaxed jaw. Hands come down and we're going to step one leg back. So you should end up left leg forward. If you're doing opposite to me, just remember what side you've done. And we're going to tuck the tailbone under. So from here, tucking under. And we're going to lean forward. And we're just going to reach the arms above the head. So you want to get your bicep to your ear. And we're just going to reach forward. Coming back. Nice deep breath in to prepare. And as you breathe out, really squeeze your bottom. And then we're going to push back, coming into a hamstring stretch. So hands come forward and we're lengthening out the front of the leg. Pushing back up into that lunge position, tucking the tailbone under, getting the stretch down the front, reaching up as high as you can. Hands come to the floor, we push back, getting the back of the leg on the left side. So working into that right hip flexor. And down into that left hamstring, flexing the foot if you can. Now if you want to take this deeper, you'd come up onto the toes on the back leg and reaching forward, tucking under, so making sure you've got that tuck, reaching under, hands come down and we flex up onto that front leg. Reaching forward, really bracing the abdominals, tucking under. We want to keep that spine nice and straight. We're stretching down the front and then reaching back. And then we go on to the other side, swapping sides. So let's start with that 90-90 position, 90 degrees at both knees. We're going to tuck the tailbone under and we're going to reach forward. And then we're going to lengthen up. So really getting into that hip flexor. Your hip flexor connects lower back. So if you tighten your hip flexor, you're more than likely going to have issues with your lower back. So really tuck and push forward and reach up high. So you're lengthening the front of the body, and as we come back, we stretch that hamstring, pushing the bottom back. Coming forward, squeezing the bottom, pushing back onto that hamstring. And you could take this into the low lunge, reaching up, tailbone under, and reaching back, flexing the foot. So either bend in the back leg or straight, depending on your flexibility. But this is what we're working on. So making sure deep breaths, and we're breathing out in these positions. Reaching up tall, tucking the tailbone, and stretching out. And then coming down. Going back to the original side now, so left leg forward. And we're all going to come up onto the back toes. And we're just going to imagine that there's an imaginary line across, and we're just going to rock along that imaginary line. So keeping the tummy drawn in, rocking forward and backwards. So nice bend in this leg, all the way forward and swapping sides. Again, rocking forward and back. Down to the knees. So if you need to, pushing back into a child's pose if you just need to release off before we come into a kneeling position. So we're going to pop the hands behind the head. So we want to make sure the elbows are nice and wide so your chest is open. When your chest opens, it doesn't mean that we arch the back anymore. We have to draw those ribs down and flat as we open up the elbows. So that's on, and between my shoulder blades is on. So they're the 2 points you need to feel it. Braced, ribs flat, open, shoulders wide. So from here, we're going to tuck the elbows, drop the chin while keeping a nice flat back, and then as we come up, we open out as wide as we can without going to this extended position. We want to keep flat. So keeping nice and flat, chin goes down to chest. Feel that stretch all down the back of the body. And then opening out the elbows. If you want to, we can come to cactus here, so we can bring those elbows back without arching the lower back. We're keeping this area. There's a corset around the middle and we're keeping it solid. Dropping the chin down and opening out. Cactus if you wish. Down. Let's get a couple more of these. So I want you to really feel the stretch down the back of the body as the chin touches the chest. And then we want to squeeze the shoulder blades together and open the shoulders as wide as we can while keeping that core nice and tight. In our next movement, we're going to come up into a tall kneeling position. We're going to again pop the hands behind the head. So this time now we're bringing the bottom in. So before we just had the corset here. Now we're going to squeeze the bottom as well. So we've got that nice tight corset around the middle and the bum squeezing nice and tight. So that's keeping us upright no movement here. We're going to pop the hands behind the head, chin nods to chest, we round over that spine, and we come backwards. So imagine you're pouring water out of your ear, so we're coming down to here, and then we're rolling back round to the other side, tipping the water out of the right ear to the right heel, and then coming back round, really dropping the chin. So what you need to notice is that nothing's moving here, it's all upper body rotation, so all of that upper back, this is where you need to have some mobility. If you haven't got mobility here, you will use here. So drop the chin, extend back, keeping that tummy in and the bum squeezing nice and tight, round. So we're just tipping that water out of the ear, over the heel. Keeping the bum squeezed, can't emphasise that enough, that the bottom needs to be working here instead of the back. So from here, we'll sit back. And then we'll come into the hamstrings. So if you need to, we're going to get a cushion if you need it under your bottom, if you can't get those legs nice and straight and torso being up tall. So this is one of the most important things, is the torso being up tall. So if you're here, then you need something under your bottom. So we're going to open the feet, open the legs, toes, pull in, flex towards the shins, knees push down. We're going to reach up and we're going to reach forward. Reach those hands forward as far as you can. Then coming back up, reaching down to one side and holding. Notice your breathing, making sure that it's nice and long and not short and shallow. Up to the middle, down to the opposite side. Nice deep breaths, lengthening those muscles, pushing the knees down, flexing the toes, down to the middle. Then we're going to bring one foot in. So from here, we're going to do the same thing, reaching up, and we're going to go towards the straight leg. Breathing out as you release down. Now we should get more of a QL stretch here, so we should get more of a stretch down the side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to transition up onto the shin and reach backwards. Then we come back down, sweeping down towards that front leg, so I'm towards my left leg. And as I sweep up, I'm pushing down on my shin of my right, extending the left, reaching up, gaze, looking up towards the ceiling, coming back down. Reaching over, so we should be getting that nice stretch down this side, flexing the foot, and then as we come up, getting a stretch down the opposite side. Let's do that one more time. Reaching down, stretching out the side, and then over to the other side. Let's swap legs. Flex the toe. Breathing in to prepare, breathing out, over the leg. Arms come round, we push up onto the shin and stretching out the side. Coming down, reaching forward. So breathing out, every time you're lengthening that muscle, you want to be letting go of the breath. And then coming up, extending. Squeezing your bottom, lengthening out the side. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's get one more. So let's work on those hips a little bit more. So coming now into an all fours, and we're going to come into a plank position. We're not holding a plank position, we're just moving, transitioning between. So, I'll give you a demonstration. So, we're going to come into all fours, we're going to extend one leg, make sure that tailbone's tucked under, legs extended. We're going to open the feet as wide as the mat, and then we're going to push back, and then we're going to come forward. So I'm squeezing my bum and really drawing my abdominals in this position, and I'm driving my knees out like a little frog, firing forward. Pushing back and firing forward. Squeeze your bum, brace your abdominals. So really draw that belly button in, bend the knees. So we're in this position as we stretch out, and then we come back, knees come outside of the elbows. Let's go for one more. And forward. Squeeze your bottom, drop the knees. Push back into child's pose. Let's take a couple of breaths there. Relaxing. Because we're going to go onto our front now. And we're just going to stretch, we're just going to get the glutes fired up a little bit. So, lying on the front. You want to really focus on drawing your abdominals in. So, you want to turn those abdominals on. You're going to bring your knees to the outside of your mat. And then bring the heels together. And then we're going to lift the heels. So I want you to really focus on lifting the pelvic floor and drawing the tummy in. Feet are in first position, so heels together. And I want you to feel like you're squeezing something as hard as you can between your heels. So really push those heels together as hard as you can. Now this might be enough for you. I want to make sure that you're relaxed down, so relax shoulders. It's just the glutes that are on, so try and relax your gaze down to the mat. So how it should be done would be here. And then you're going to try and lift those thighs off the mat, squeezing those heels together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze the heels, lift the thighs. We want the bottom working, we don't want the back working. If you can feel it in the back, drop the thighs and just squeeze together. So you've got that grate between your heels and you're trying to squash it. So push down, push down, push down, push down. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Relax the bottom. We'll go again. So we've got a new grate now between the heels, and you're going to try and squash that. So squeeze together. Push those heels together, hard as you can, hard as you can. Squeeze your glutes, push that together. Push, 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 push. Lift the thighs if you can, and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Abdominal in. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax down. Hands come wide. Tummy draws in. We're going to come into a wide cobra. So we're coming up. Bring the elbows up. So I had my hands further forward to keep a nice shallow bend. Bring them now down towards your shoulders and lift the elbows. So you've got nice wide hands, elbows are high, so you're in this position. So tummy's drawing in, slight squeeze on the glutes. We're going to drop one shoulder. Look in the opposite direction. Come up, drop the other shoulder. Looking in the opposite direction. Drop that shoulder as low as you can. It could be that you need to widen the hands to get that shoulder to the floor. It could be that you're quite tight in the chest, but keep those elbows facing up. Breathing out as you drop down. Breathing in as you come up. Nothing in the lower back here. All upper back work. We want to get that upper back nice and mobile. And one more. Excellent. Okay, we'll finish with some abdominal work now. So you may need a pillow behind your head, if that feels more comfortable for you. If you can keep a nice straight spine without it and keep the chin tucked. can stay here. I'm going to walk the feet in, close to the bottom, feet nice and soft on the floor. Draw those shoulders back and down, and we're going to go with palms facing up for this one. You're going to take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, head, neck and shoulders lift, and you're reaching down towards the toes. I want you to keep the collarbones wide. So I could be here, but I want to be down here. So you're wanting to keep that chest open. Here is doing the work. So we're bringing the ribs, the lower ribs, down to the hips. And we breathe out. Breathing in to prepare, breathing out as we lift. Slowly down. Reaching up. So open those collarbones, brace the abdominals and reach down and hold that position. We come back down. Now we're going to add the hands overhead. So now, palms turn to face downwards. So palms are up here. Deep breath in. And we reach down. Deep breath in. And as we breathe out, we reach down. Arms come overhead. Biceps come to ears. Let's get one more. And hold it. And you're just going to reach now down towards the ankles. So let's turn the palms to face up and reach. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Arms come overhead and relax down. Place those palms at the side of the body. Draw those shoulders away from the ears. We're going to come to tabletop. One leg lifts, second leg lifts. You're going to flex your feet. I want you to draw those feet in and extend them at a 45-degree angle. Draw the feet in and extend at a 45-degree angle. I want you to keep your back down on the mat. Now, if you're finding that difficult to do, you can pop your hands under to help with that position if you have got any back issues. We're wanting to get the abdominals working, so firing those heels. The push comes from the heels. Head, neck and shoulders are relaxed. Let's add in the arms. So palms face up. We extend, head, neck and shoulders lifts. Coming back down. Extend. So ribs to pelvis. Coming down. To make this easier, you push your legs up higher. Or you'd leave the arms and you just stay with the legs. Let's get a couple more. And hug those knees in, relaxing down. So we're going to hold on to one leg now and extend the other. Toes point. We're going to lift the head, neck and shoulders to join the knee. And we're going to change. Breathing in, breathing out. So everything in the abdominals, you're using those hands to pull the knee in. So you're getting that full stretch. Back should be pushing down firmly onto the mat. We're going to come up a little bit higher now into that boat position, and we're going to do 1, 2, and then we're going to come down 1, 2. And we're going to come up 1, 2, and down for 2. Up for 2, and down for 2. Stay just on the floor if you need to. Up for 2, and down for 2. Up for 2, down for 2. Nice and smooth as you come up, nice and smooth as you go down. One more time, and hugging those knees in. Should be getting the abdominals fired up now. I've only got a couple of minutes left, so let's just put in a couple more abdominal exercises just to make sure that they're supporting, that they're active now, supporting the rest of the body. So let's go into scissors. So relax the shoulders down. You're going to bring one leg up, the other leg up. Lift the head and shoulders. Again, if you need to keep your head down, if you need to pop a cushion underneath, pop a cushion there. And we're just going to reach and touch between those legs. So if you have got tight hamstrings, you can put that bend in the legs if you need to. If you can straighten those legs, you want to extend up. And we're just clapping the hand behind the leg. So we should be starting to feel that burn on the abdominals. And then clapping between. Making sure you're breathing nice long breaths. 3, 2, 1, and hug those knees in. Then let's extend the legs out. Deep breath in, relax the shoulders. You're going to bend those knees. I want you to lift one leg and then lift the other leg. Now you can pop your hands behind your thighs if you need to. Then we drop one leg, drop. Opposite side this time, lift, lift, lower, lower, lift, lift, lower, lower. So my back angle is nice and upright. I'm lifting, lifting, lower, lower. If you need to hold on to give you that extra support, you want to keep the back nice and flat, up, up, down, down. Bracing nice and hard here, keeping the chest up. Let's get one more time. Let's hold. Hold in here if you need to hold on to the back of the legs. Keep the chest up. Extend if you can. Flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point. 3, 2, 1. Rolling onto your back. 1 to finish. Let's take those legs up and then bring them down to a 45-degree angle. Again, remember, if you need to, pop the hands under. If you can, try and keep that abdominal control. And we're just going to tap the toes together. Tap, 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 tap. Keep tapping those toes together. Toes and heels. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug in. Side to side. And relax down. We're all done. Hopefully you're feeling better after that session. Hopefully you've released off the back and got that abdominal working. Have a great day, everyone. See you again next week.